In today's video we're gonna make Charles's no stress, no knead sourdough bread. This bread is so easy and this recipe gives you just around 800 grams of dough. Let's get started, and in your mixing bowl take 260 grams of lukewarm water and 12 grams of sea salt. Dissolve the salt completely in the water. Now add 130 grams of your ripe sourdough starter. Now dissolve your sourdough starter in the water, and don't worry about us adding the sourdough starter to the salt, because the salt has already been dissolved in the water. And remember, this is a no knead recipe, so we need to get all the ingredients in from the beginning. Now add 300 grams of strong bread flour and 75 grams of whole wheat flour. With your hand, combine all the ingredients into a shaggy mass. The purpose of this is not to build any gluten structure, it is simply to hydrate all the flour. When all the ingredients are combined, your dough should look something like this. Cover it with some cling film and leave it for 2 hours. So after 2 hours of resting, our dough looks something like this. And when you look at it, it doesn't look like a lot has happened. But when you feel it, and now we're gonna take it out on the table, you can see that the dough has become very stretchy and there's been a lot of development of the gluten. So instead of us kneading it, we're gonna let time do all the kneading for us. Now we're gonna give the dough a very simple fold, and this is just to build a little bit of structure in the dough and strength. Turn the dough around and start building tension in the dough by doing what is called a tension pull, where you use the stickiness of the dough and your fingers to pull the dough towards you and create that tension. You can do the exact same thing with your bench scraper, where you use the scraper instead of your fingers to do the tension pull. When the dough feels smooth and tight, place it in a bowl and cover it with some cling film and leave it to rest for 4 to 5 hours. Here is what my dough looked like after 4.5 hours. Go ahead and very gentle scrape out your dough onto your unfloured surface. Remember, we just spent almost 5 hours in proving this dough, so we don't want to knock the dough down and deflate it completely. Now I'm gonna do a very simple and very gentle pre-shaping of the dough. Turn your dough around and put it to the side, and then we can get our banneton ready. To prevent the dough from sticking, I just sift a little bit of flour into my banneton. Then with my finger I kind of push the flour into all the ridges, nooks and crannies of the banneton to make sure that it's completely covered and the dough does not stick. Now let's do a very simple shape of our bread. Still be very gentle. We want to retain as much as possible of that beautiful CO2 in the dough. So basically I just roll it up in a sausage, and then I'm gonna tighten a little bit with my thumbs here at the end, just to squeeze it together a little bit, but still keeping all that CO2 inside. Flour the dough a little bit so we are 100% sure that it will not stick to your banneton. And place the dough very gentle into your banneton. Now cover the dough with cling film and leave it to prove for 1 to 2 hours. Here is what my dough looked like after 2 hours of proving. And as you can see, I didn't prove it to double in size, but we're not looking for that. We just want a dough that still has a little bit of tension, so we get that nice oven spring when we put it in the oven. Release the dough from the banneton and flip it out on a small piece of parchment paper. If you have a small brush, go ahead and brush off a little bit of that excess flour. I didn't have a brush this day, so I just used my hands. It would have been nice if I could have taken off a little bit more flour, but score your bread at a 45-degree angle with a very sharp knife or a razor blade or a bread lamb. Today I just used a razor blade. You can probably do this a lot better than me. I preheated my cast iron skillet in the oven for just about an hour, at maximum temperature. I think mine goes to 230 degrees Celsius. Pop the lid on and put it back in the oven and bake it for just around 20 minutes. Then take off the lid and bake it for another 15 to 20 minutes, depending on your oven and how you like your bread. I like this nice and golden color. Here's the final result, and wow, listen to that crust. Leave your bread to cool off completely before you slice into it, and let's enjoy a little bit of B-roll. I really hope you enjoyed this little video during these so uncertain times, and please go ahead and join our Facebook group and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I hope to see you soon in a new video.